right, JB Bickerstaff talks about developing the style for the Pistons. You heard it in the beginning. Shout out to Richard Jefferson and his podcast. And I think it's called On the Road. Sorry if I missed it, Off the Road or something. No disrespect. But he basically said that I like what he said because I've been saying this since damn near they started kind of doing this retool, an identity. He said he wanted to develop identity and camaraderie. That's what he said. That's what he wanted to develop. He talked about the bad boy teams and the Rip and Chauncey teams, how they had an identity. He said the first thing he wanted to do is form an identity for this team. And every time Detroit has been a championship caliber team, the identity has been defense and teamwork. They've been one. The bad boys, they was one on and off the court. You know what I'm saying? The going to work Pistons, they were one on and off the court. So they gotta form a connection. And their identity, has to be defense, hard working, blue collar. The identity has to match the city of Detroit. Even though when Detroit Lions had Matthew Stafford, they was a dome team. Get a bunch of yards up and but that wasn't indicative of who the city of Detroit was. This team that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes is building, this is who Detroit are. The Red Wings, it's a blue collar sport anyway. When they were rolling, that's who Detroit was. Hard working, fighters, scrappers, not scared to get their hands dirty. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have always been. They've always embodied the city of Pittsburgh. Blue collar city, Steelers. And that's one thing that Matt Patricia tried to bring to Detroit. He tried to bring an outdoor mentality to a dome team. Actually, Dan Campbell has been able to actually bring his illustration to life. So when you talk about the Pistons, developing identity, defense, camaraderie, but also I think they also need to develop and showcase their youth. They need to showcase their youth. And that speed, young legs, athleticism, getting out, running wild. So I think if they, he talked about kind of getting the identity, forming a connection, but also, guess what? You got a team full of young legs. Run. Every time they should be getting it off the rebound or stealing or they get the ball, they need to be pushing the pace. They'll win 10 or 15 games, 20 games out of 82, just by running teams out the gym. You know what I'm saying? So to form an identity, for them to form an identity, only they gonna determine what that is. And one thing I like about Isaiah Stewart, which he don't get a lot of compliments from me, but one thing I will say about him is attitude. That's what they need to embody, his attitude. Bring attitude back to Detroit. Okay, you had the going to work Pistons, you had the bad boy. My calling card would be bringing the attitude back to Detroit and the NBA. We not nice guys. Bringing the toughness back to the NBA. Bringing the Stern back in the NBA. David Stern. Bringing grit back to the NBA. But this time we gonna remix it with a 21st century, or a 22 since the Pistons in 20, with a 2024 mix. We gonna mix it up with athleticism, with showcasing. I mean, they got some of the best athletes in the league when you talk about Jay Nivey, Ron Hollins, Isaiah Stewart can outrun most fives, Jalen Duren, Jay Nivey, Ashore Thompson, the one I was looking for. They got some terrific athletes. They should be running and gunning. They should be, speeding up and down the court. They should literally be running guys off the court. How Jersey was, that's pretty much what they need to be like. Jersey under J. Kidd, that's what they need to be like. They will defend, and they will get out in the transition. But the only bad thing about them, and I don't know what the hell that is on the train track, that nigga looked like I don't know what that was. He looked like a pelican, but it wasn't a pelican. I know I ain't the only person that's seen that bird, just whatever that was. It looked like a flamingo, and it wasn't a flamingo. I should go back and get a picture. But that's how they was. They defended. When they got out and ran, it was every eyeball on the set paid attention. That's kind of where the Pistons need to be like. New Jersey with Kidd, they played great defense. And offensively, they was going to run you out the gym. It was a beautiful thing. I hated them because they used to whoop our ass. They who we had to get over the hump to get to the championship for real. Indiana played a part too. But that's where the Pistons need to really mimic. That's exactly who they need to be like. That's exactly who they need to be like. Real talk. So, yeah, this is my opinion on it. You know. But I think they can have a little bit more versatility, but I like what he's saying. And you know, he can lay out some ideas or a template, but only they can really figure out what their identity gonna be. All you hear is they work hard, but we don't see no results. So what y'all want to be? And when you start in Detroit, it's always about defense. Defense. You know? So, JB Bickerstaff is saying some good stuff. I like when I talked about the other day, how he said that he liked the team because he liked to develop players. He liked the development phase of it. And unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to finish what he started in Cleveland. And I feel like, and I like Donovan Mitchell, if he had anything with that brother losing his job, that's why I don't really respect a lot of black people today. I don't. And I say this, and I really don't like to get into this on the channel, but sometimes you gotta say it. We treat each other like shit and then talk about everybody else treating us like shit. We gotta walk it like we talking. You know? Real talk. We can't say we don't have people in a position of power, but then you getting the brother fired. And I'm not saying it's true or not true. I don't know. I'm saying if it's true, I don't want to hear nothing about that. You know? So I love to hire JB Bickerstaff. I like to hire in that Rick Adelman's son, David Adelman. I like that one. I like the kid out, Chris Quinn, used to play in the NBA down there with Miami Heat. You gotta remember, I was advocating for Shane Battier or Alonzo Mourning to come and get the GM job in Detroit. So I like the Heat culture. I like what they do. They do a great job of finding players, you know, lower level players or lead players under the radar and developing them. So I mean, they got the pieces in Detroit. I think the one piece that they really lacked was that stretch forward. And I think they got the present, and possibly with Ron Hollins, they might have a future. If he could just hit that corner three, that's all you will really need. You know, so, but like I continue to say, I feel like Cade Cunningham, I'm going to speak on what he said about Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. Because one of the things he said about them brothers, about Cade Cunningham, is that how he can play multiple positions, and I think they're gonna need to let somebody handle that rock. And I've been saying it all off season. Let somebody handle that rock. You know. Let somebody handle that rock, and let them move off the ball and learn to play off the ball. Because if you learn to play off the ball, you're gonna be even more efficient. So their identity, in my opinion, should be somewhat of a New Jersey Nets identity, what they had with Jason Kidd. defense and running. They should, and then eventually they got to be good in half court too. And I think they got the pieces to be good in half court. That's one thing that a lot of these NBA teams struggle with is half court basketball. Come on, baby, what you doing? Use a blinker. A lot of teams struggle with half court basketball because they don't run any sets anymore. And one thing I like about Popovich, and I do like about Steve Kerr, a lot of people don't like Steve Kerr, but what I like about him is that he'll run sets. They run a lot of motion. And that's what's lacking in the game. So when he goes to the Olympic team, he asking these guys to run these sets and learn these plays. They don't do that in the NBA. Tatum do a lot of three-pointer and isolating. LeBron is always handling the ball. KD and Steph can do it because guess what? KD and Steph played with Steve Kerr and played for Steve Kerr. He played for Steve Kerr. So, but yeah, that's what America want to dominate the Olympics again. And they said, what team will win, a dream team or this team? Like, this team didn't have a chance against the dream team. It's not a talent gap. The gap just begins with the inability to play fundamentally sound basketball. They all isolation based. They don't know how to play without the basketball. They don't know how to cut. They don't know how to space. They don't know how to pin down. So when you ask these dudes to do this Princeton style offense or these curls and these backdoor cuts, they don't do that on a regular basis. They don't run a militant style of offense. And that's what you just get with Bobby Knight, Tubby Smith. That's why you have to go to college. That's where you learn to play basketball, that is in college. You learn to be a pro as a professional. Basketball is basketball. But when you learn to be a pro in the pros, how to deal with the off the court, how to manage money, how to, deal with workplace, you know what I'm saying? How to manage your time. In college, your time is pretty much managed. Your time is managed. So, I don't know how I get the fourth spot today, but whatever. All these mystery cars popping up over here. Go park y'all asses back over there. They're like, oh, CJ being lazy. Hell yeah, I'm being lazy. I'm tired. I'm hungry, to be honest, but shit is what it is. I'm hungry. But yeah, that's all I pretty much had to say, man. Appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist for more videos like this. Peace.